Hello, beautiful beloveds. This is Stephanie Parasha, Divine Light, coming to you from New Zealand, Aotearoa, with another message for Twin Flames. This morning, I was guided to write down some messages that were coming through, and I just had my phone with me. I didn't voice record, and I went to write the messages down on my notes, and I saw the time at that point was 11:22. So of course, another basically sign that this is important right now for this message to come through, and particularly this message is going to be around the theme of inner balance. Also, when I came to write up record this message and use what I'd already written, I went on. Because I'd sent myself a message on my email, and I went on to open it, and there's a little advert that's come up along the side of my email, and it's got flames coming out the side of it. It's all about emergencies and fires and how to get out of fire. But I thought again it was another synchronicity, seeing those flames, and I'm still watching these flames as I record this message. It's just quite synchronistic. So the messages, I think a lot of twin flames are really surrendering now and realizing and accepting that this is not the romance or the fairy tale that we had imagined we were going to have, that it is entailing a lot more work than what we realized, and many are realizing now that the inner work is very, very important, and are surrendering to going within and really looking at ourselves and doing that inner shadow work, and spending that time, being prepared to spend that time alone, not sitting, waiting, not being upset that you are not together, or you feel that you're in separation, or you're having issues around running and chasing and who's doing what and all the rest of it. And now realizing the value, the immense value of that time where we get to tune inward and look at ourselves and spend time with ourselves and work on that inner harmony and inner balance and inner love and self-love and all of those things that we have in the past, those of us that have been hooked onto the old relationship template of putting others' needs ahead of our own. And again, that's one of those old relationship patterns that we are breaking down. Particularly the feminine has been very well trained and conditioned by society to put the needs of the masculine ahead of her own. That's a lot of conditioning that's happened there, and likewise the masculine has also had their conditioning equally around needing to have that pressure of providing and protecting the feminine and the home and the family. So yes, we've all got our templates. However, this particular tendency, and I think it is actually for the masculine and the feminine both, that we put our partner before ourselves, and we put their needs before ours, and we really devote a lot of time and energy when in relationship to what the other is doing, and we often put all of that energy, most of our energy, into that. So we're really now finding that that is not conducive to a balanced relationship. And so we are relearning, and for some of us it feels very, very strange, and it feels as if we're being selfish when we begin to devote more time to ourselves than the other. But we are needing to break through this tendency, and this is relevant, this need to go within and to be radically loving and devote time to yourself and your alone time and your own essence and your own energy. This is relevant for those in separation, and also equally for those in union and in relationship. So this is relevant for all twin flames. And when I was recording this message, I actually wrote down, feel how good it feels to honour yourself. And when I wrote the "and," it did a spell. You know how the spell check goes on when you're writing on your phone, and it changed. It did auto check or whatever it is, and it turned into DNA. And so I must type DNA more than I type and into my phone. So it also, and I heard Spirit laughing in the background, because you know how they like to joke with us, that laughing that yes, it is good for your DNA as well when you honor yourself and you really take that time and you put everything else to the side and you say, no, I'm not going to put my energy here, I'm not going to put my energy there, I'm not going to put it anywhere else, I'm just going to, you know, close myself in and really focus on me and get connected to my own unique essence, my own spirit, my own divine signature, my own blueprint, and my own sacred, beautiful template that makes me who I am. And when I do that, I feel that connection to the highest source energy, and I allow and I sit quietly and become still, and I become calm, and I let my body breathe and breathe in a beautiful rhythm that allows me to just feel calmer and more relaxed, and let my central nervous system unwind. And in doing that, I am holding myself in the highest regard and fully respecting the time and the space that I'm giving to myself to rest, to heal, and to chill out, and to let myself feel that power and the energy that I've been giving out to others, or to outside of myself. I feel that power drawing inward into I really pull that into my solar plexus. And while I'm doing that, I make sure that I disconnect my energy from others and untie and unravel and cut off any energies that I may have picked up from other people. And when we do this, it enables us to connect in much more strongly with our inner guidance, however you want to define that, whether you call it your higher self, or your inner wisdom, or your spirit, or your guides, or whatever, however you feel that. But you're going to enable yourself, when you unwind and relax and bring your energy back to yourself, and use that time and space, you'll see and you'll feel and you'll hear the messages a lot more clearly. It also enables you to be creative in this time. So I know that many of us Twin Flames are very creative beings, so it enables us to be perhaps artistic and, you know, do a lovely, beautiful drawing or art or painting of your life, write up a song, make up a dance, you know, just do something really creative and beautiful that's from your own heart and from your own essence and your own creative power. So so that's about creating that inner balance with yourself, and just really, when you're doing that, you're this is not about being selfish. This is not about withdrawing yourself completely from society and shutting yourself off and closing the door and not talking to anyone or whatever. It's not exactly that, but you'll know if you need to do that as well. So there are times when you will need to do that in order to create the balance, because I know for myself, during the week, Monday to Friday, I am busy working and I put a lot of energy out to the world and my job and others, and I'm very busy, and I have a daughter that I'm bringing up on my own, and she also needs my time and energy. And I make sure that on the weekends, at least on one of those days, whether it's the Saturday or the Sunday, that I try and make one of those days just a rest day. And I'm also teaching her that she needs to rest and just do something quiet, do something creative. She doesn't need to go out and be busy, you know, running around everywhere, meeting people or looking on the internet or doing all those outward things that we come within, and we just be with ourselves, teaching her to be with herself. So that's pretty much the essence of the message. It's a pretty short, sweet message, but it is really, we're getting really guided to do that now. I think a lot more Twin Flames are really getting that message loud and clear, that it is time to go within. And I've heard a lot of people actually mention they're getting the spirit animal of the bear. And the bear teaches us the laws of boundaries for ourselves and others, teaches us to become comfortable being alone, being with ourselves and being with our spirit, and that cave energy of going within and meditating and taking that deep sleep, resting, retreating, and just going within. So I'm also aware that I'm in the southern hemisphere, and we've just moved into the autumn equinox, and so this message may very well be relevant for people in the southern hemisphere, but in the northern hemisphere, I imagine as you go into spring, it's probably more of the opposite energy. So holding down the polarities down here in the south. So the other thing that I'm getting a message about was a little bit in terms of the way that we're relating to others. At this point in time, the shadows are very active. So the shadows are really acting out. They're really playing out in other people's, in our own and in other people's behaviours. So one of the techniques that I've learnt recently, and it was brought to me by Ross Rosenberg, and I've talked about him in one of my other videos, and he does work around people that have a tendency towards codependency, that he's coined self-love deficit disorder. So he says often those people, unfortunately, tend to attract certain personality types, such as the narcissist or an abusive personality type. And so when people that feel, not worthy of themselves or lacking in self-love, they find it very hard to put boundaries in or tell others that that's not okay, or what they're doing is so they'll tend to accept and absorb, particularly empathic people like myself, they tend to absorb other people's negative emotions and want to try and fix those people and rescue them. So in terms of a technique to help with that, he talks about a technique called observe, not absorb. So more and more learning how to observe others, and rather than pointing the finger at them in terms of saying you're doing this in a sort of judgy, blamey kind of way and pointing, it's more of pointing out there's an issue or bringing it into the open awareness to shine the light on it, to help those people see. Because I know myself, I cannot see my shadow. It's a fact that we cannot see the side of us that's in the darkness that we've been denying. So it is helpful if people can gently bring to our attention certain things or behaviours that we may be doing that need to have some attention, to be looked at, if we have a willingness to continue to grow and heal, and not shame ourselves or blame ourselves for doing anything like that, or if other people are doing anything that's unhealthy behaviour, that we bring it to the attention rather than blame it, and actually separate out that behaviour or that energy that's going on from the actual person, and really look at that and say, maybe there's a good reason why that person's behaving in that way. As we know, when we're in pain or we've suffered trauma, or we've created these very wonderful creative defence mechanisms or behaviours in which we try and avoid further pain, which can often unfortunately be unhealthy behaviours that cause further harm to ourselves and others. So so remembering when we're doing that we're observing rather than absorbing that situation, trying as much as possible to maintain a sense of peace and calm and balance within ourselves, continuing to release that which does not serve through the opening of our heart, feeling love and compassion for ourselves in the utmost and for all. Remembering that where we're feeling the need to defend or we have a resistance, that's a really big clue that we are in some kind of fear, and that we're needing to really look at that and what that's about. Of course, if you are in danger, if you're at risk of harm, either through your own behaviours or through others' behaviour towards you, it is necessary to take action to create safety. However, the general rule of thumb to any situation that we're transgressing at the moment, what we're traveling through is the journey of trust, love, and surrender, and just keep repeating those words round and round and round. Trust, love, surrender. Surrender, love, trust. Love, trust, surrender, again and again. Just keep repeating whatever you need to do to keep recognizing that even those difficult situations, those ones where even our safety may be at risk, these are situations that have been brought to us to teach us something about standing in our power, or trusting the situation in terms of how we can find our way through it towards love, and surrendering the situation to the highest good, to see that this is actually, even though it may look like this on one from one point of view or an aspect, that actually this is a massive learning for me, and I fully bless this situation, and I love this person and bless this person for bringing me this truth or bringing me this awareness, and thanking people and forgiving them and forgiving ourselves, just continuing to do that. And this will be the healing way for humanity as we continue to go forth. So, feel safe in the knowing that we are all here to teach each other these soul lessons. So, if somebody is pushing on your boundary, that this is a wonderful opportunity to check in with yourself and to create that awareness. What do I need to do here? Do I need to put in the boundary in terms of honouring and respecting myself first, because now I'm loving myself more, and this is what I need to do for me to keep myself safe and protect me. This is not, when we do such things, we're not, a lot of us have got so used to putting the other first that when we put in a boundary, we find that we feel rude or that we've upset the other person. Remember, just please come back to you. This is all about you, and just honouring yourself, loving yourself. Keep doing that, and everything will be great. Okay, well, that's a short message for today. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate all your views and likes, and please share and subscribe if you like my work, and if you'd like to get into contact with me for a session. I do healing sessions, and you can find me on the information below. My website and email and Facebook are all written there. Okay, thank you. Goodbye for now.